In today's video, I will share with you 3 ways in which you do not yet use AI in order to be a better advertiser. As you might know, my channel is about the simple advertiser, using AI in a way that is actually applicable and that it generates a higher quality result than you usually see. These are what I will show you, either custom GPTs or projects, and I will also share with you how to build them. I don't want to go through the prompts. If you want to see them, simply copy paste them through the link in the video description. But I will share with you the concepts and the thoughts behind them so that you understand them, might even improve them or adjust them based on your situation. And then I will share with you also the results with examples so that you can actually already see how they work and what the thoughts behind are them. The first one is based on a book which is called Copy Logic by Michael Masterson. It's a book from, 30 years ago or something. And in his book, he described a strategy on how to improve ad copy by assigning different roles to different people and then reading through the texts through this specific lens. And while I was reading this, I was thinking, this is exactly how AI can serve me as an advertiser by taking on different roles and reading my texts through different lenses. And for this, I have built the Copywriting Critique Council, which is a round of 5 of the most legendary advertisers or copywriters, and they will write your texts or improve your texts for you. With this, you will have very different tones, very different approaches, and also different angles. So instead of like this prompt of write me an ad text for this or write me 10 headlines for this, you have highly different and much more sophisticated results also, because this prompt gives the right context and also the right approach to the AI to understand what you actually want and generate you much better results. And when it comes to copywriting, you can use ChatGPT. I have a specific prompt for ChatGPT in the prompt stock, but I would recommend for you highly to use Claude. Claude has, from my experience, much better quality when it comes to copywriting, and therefore I will also show you it in Claude right now. I will show you first the result and then how to build it. So I said here, every copywriter shall write 3 headlines and 1 primary text for the following product. Then I made up a fantasy product, which is a router for Wi-Fi. I gave a couple of benefits and features to it, and then said, write in English. And here we have 5 different results with the name of the copywriter, also his or her specific focus, and then 3 headlines and 1 primary text. Also, here is a reasoning on why AI did it in the style of this copywriter based on his unique thinking. As an example, and I will go through this as a comparison for all 5 copywriters now, is headline 1 is the first router that self-corrects every 0.3 seconds. Engineering research proves it. Then the next copywriter is Claude Hopkins. He's more scientific and specific. So he said self-adjusting Wi-Fi router prevents drops every 0.3 seconds. See the proof. Kind of similar, yet already much different. Then we have Drayton Bird writing very customer-centric. Here he says, tired of Wi-Fi that fails during important calls. Here's why that finally ends. And here you can already see it goes much beyond like the product features that you gave it. It understands better what the underlying problem of the users usually is, what they want to solve, and how this product will help. And much different than before. Next, Eugene Schwartz is more about psychological triggers. Here he states, the 0.3 second miracle, how one router knows what you need before you do. Very intriguing, creates a lot of curiosity. And then lastly, we have Robert Collier, very empathetic, very emotional, usually much softer in tone. His first suggestion is, remember when internet used to just work? That feeling is back. And you can already see how, at least from my perspective, much more of a higher quality the output is, how also different it is in style, in tone, in angles. And this will, based on my experience, improve your quality copywriting so much. Now, how to build it? You can either use the prompt in the Notion doc every time, or what I would recommend for you is to build a project. Now, Claude is here in German on my end, but it's very easily done, and you will find the same buttons on your end. And projects also exist in ChatGPT. Similar style, we will come to another ChatGPT project in another prompt or project. But here I will show to you how to build it in Claude. So you go to projects here in your sideline and then click on new project. Then you name it whatever you want. So I name it for myself so that I know what it is, copywriting demo. And here you can give a short description. You do not have to. It has not something to do with the prompt. It's for you. So let's say writing excellent copy. All right, now you create this project. And here under, on my end, it's Anweisung. For you, it's something like prompt or notes or work-wise, something in this kind of style. You click on plus, and here you add the prompt from the doc. It's already formatted in Markdown, meaning the algorithm or the AI will understand better what actually the hierarchy is. You simply paste it in here, and then every time you want to create a new copy, you go to your projects, you select this project here, and here you simply quickly and briefly write what you want to get. So as mentioned, for example, you say, write me 3 headlines and 1 primary text for this product, and then you give it a couple of product info, and then the copy will write itself, kind of, and you will have a much better output. If you want to write better copy, then you also need a better research most of the times to understand what the market is, what people are actually looking for, and what other advertiser might not yet recognize or realize which angles might be working. And for this, I've built a research project. This is also specifically tied to user-centric research, which is based on emotionality, on market desires, on sophistication levels, and also on awareness levels. If this is not familiar to you, you don't need to know all of this. I would recommend for you as a marketer to learn about this, but the prompt itself does a lot of the heavy lifting, and I will show it to you again. If you do research, I would always recommend for you to do it in multiple LLMs. So run it in ChatGPT, in Claude, in Gemini, in whatever tool you are using. Also, Perplexity is excellent in this kind of stuff. So we do it here in ChatGPT for the sake of this example. If you've never built a project in ChatGPT, you simply go to projects, click on new project, then you name it, for example, research demo. Then you create this project, and then here in the top corner, click on the 3 dots on add notes. Here you paste in the prompt, and then similar as with Claude, you can if you need something, simply type in here what you want to do a research. Now, I stuck with the example of the Wi-Fi router. The prompt is, and I will show it to you here, only research on my product, which is a Wi-Fi router. How can I stand out? What is important for me in advertising? And make an in-depth research and market analysis. I did not even give information about the product, but if you do research, give it as much product information as possible. Like copy paste everything that you already have in order to give it more context and let the AI dial in a bit more the direction that makes sense for your product. In this case, I kept it completely open, but I will show you some statements, some research examples here, so that you also understand how this works and how valuable this research is. So first of all, it says that what every router claims here. It's fast, it's stable, it's secure, wide coverage. So it's not like, as it says here, this means performance isn't a differentiator. The winning angle is rarely speed, it's confidence. The core desire is confidence. I just want Wi-Fi that works always without me having to think about it. I think this is very valid and something like a source of frustration that we all are more or less familiar with. Now, it first gives you different segments of the market, also with examples, so you can understand for yourself in the competitor landscape where you are. Then also shows you more differences. Also states like more problems, like a sentence that usually everyone knows, this thing never works when I need it. This actually is a good source for copywriting, because this is a frustration, like a highly emotionally charged statement that many people understand or can relate to when it's about their Wi-Fi router. Next, it's about positionings and how you can position yourself. For example, the router for people who just want Wi-Fi that works. Or another positioning might be designer route, the aesthetic. If this is not like outstanding in your product, then does not make sense. And therefore, I mentioned it's important to give it as much product information as you have, so that the AI can better understand it. I did not give it, so it's clear that it here has like very different kinds of positioning statements. So here you can see what makes sense for you. Then it dives deeper into consumer psychology. Like, what are common triggers? For example, slow Netflix or YouTube. Streaming problems is like instant pain. True. Then typical buying objections. And then also messaging opportunities. What you can use as advertiser in order to position your product and communicate it in a way that is understandable. So, for example, set up in 3 minutes, 0 tech skills needed is actually also a valid angle, because it also leads to frustration and might reject potential buyers because they think it's very hard and technical to set up. So it dives deeper into this. And now, if you see something or want to dive deeper into one segment, for example, here the market gap analysis, then simply ask questions and it will dive deeper into this. But I hope you see how from a simple prompt, there is already a very high quality, a well-structured and also like very in-depth analysis, which you can work with. Of course, this is just like the beginning, and there's much more to explore, to learn, to find out, and also to validate. But as like a foundation and first response, for me, this is actually a very good foundation and much, much better than what usually is the output if I ask for research. The third project which I would like to introduce to you is a briefing generator. So now you did research, you have maybe your copies. Now you want to create briefings for creators or for graphic designer, where everything is explained and clear so that it can be also executed. Now, here, while it's still generating, what I did I just said, I want you to write me a briefing for the Wi-Fi router that I'm selling. Below, you will find all the information from a market research, and I simply copy-pasted now the whole research that we just had a look at. For you, be much more specific, take out what you like, improve what you don't like, make sure to also always have a high quality input, because only with a high quality input you can actually generate a high quality output. But for this, now the briefing will be generated, and you will once again find the prompt in the doc. It's once again a project. I think now you can build it on your own and build it in whatever tool you prefer and like to use. So here is usually the structure of the briefing. I set it like to write a briefing for ad creatives. So here is, first of all, like an overview, the general product and objective and the primary goal. This might not be aware for, or clear for the person executing it. So it's always repeated here, and also the main message and USPs. So that it's clear and also gives understanding for the person executing it. Because from my experience, like if you write a briefing where it's not clear what your actual goal is and what you want to achieve and why something might be important or not in the whole communication, it also makes clearer on the style and the graphics and so on. So I find it important to have it included in the briefings. Next is the advertising angles, like the clear angle, the focus, the pain, the promise, and also the visual vibe. And then also graphics or notes for objection handling. It also says here like must appear in either headline or subheadline. And then also the specific graphics, like here texts, headline, subheadline, and optional button. Headline, Wi-Fi that just works. Sub-headline is no drops, no drama, just reliable internet every day. And button is get reliable Wi-Fi. I think that's already quite solid and probably better than what most advertisers do. Of course, there is like still something to improve on for sure. But you can already see that here's a briefing. Here, recommend ad formats. The right resolutions, then also creative direction, visual style, imagery, themes, what not to include. So I think it's also a very valuable and oftentimes underused way of using AI, so that you as advertiser or marketer, you have it in a more simpler and also straightforward way. I hope it helps. Copy paste the prompt to the link, and if you want to learn more about like the simple advertiser and how to improve and at the same time simplify your marketing game, then simply subscribe to the channel, and you might also consider subscribing for the newsletter, where I share a couple of times per week other useful strategies and insights and tools to become a more simple advertiser.